Welcoming you to the Leela podcast, a place where you can discover all things Osho Leela. You'll get to meet the community, learn about community life, and listen in as we share about our upcoming events and workshops from the perspective of the facilitators and the attendees, supporting you to find your way to Leela.
Hi and welcome to the Leela podcast. I'm Amber and I'm here with Bhavo today, who's been a director of Osho Leela for many, many years and was instrumental in setting it up back in the 90s. You can listen back to the very first Leela podcast where Bhavo shares a lot more about his story with Louise. And he's now actually a guardian of Leela, and this gives him a lot more time to share his magic and to teach other people how to step into their power and share their magic. So first of all, Bhavo, could you tell us a bit more about your journey when it comes to the more sort of magical and esoteric aspect of your work?
Wow, my journey. The magical and esoteric. I've always, since I was a young kid really, been interested in the invisible. It's always been something which has been very much dear to me. Before I was interested or got involved in, let's say, any kind of therapeutic work, it's always been the magical that was there. And because of that interest, I started getting myself involved and taking psychedelics and other medicines, plant medicines, mushrooms, etc., which really show me, if you like, the other worlds, the other dimensions which are available through deep meditation and through, of course, taking plant medicine. And so it's been way back since I really began this journey with the magical and the esoteric, almost like it's been a part of me right from the very, very beginning. And so they have been my roots, and always over the years I've gone deeper and deeper into this work. You know, after 72 years, almost 72 years on this planet, you know, I can wake up and I can see things shimmering sometimes, like in almost like a radiance. So for me, it's very much part of who I am, and it's very much part of of where I grew into from a very young age.
Oh, and you first held your Magic, Alchemy and Empowerment workshop very recently here at Osho Leela, and it's the first of its kind really in terms of workshops like that. What did you learn from the first one, and will there be anything different in the next one, which is going to be in January?
Well, it's funny you should say that. This is the first one. In fact, the very first workshop I really ran, larger workshop, was called The Art of Leela Magic, or The Art of Magic. And I ran that in the old Leela. And it was done in a teepee, and it was already there for me back in 1994, 1995. Well, this new workshop, which I've created, has really been an amalgamation of all of my life work in a way. It's bringing together the empowerment work, which I've been doing for many, many years, also the alchemy, which is connected from turning base metals into gold, meaning from people that are, if you like, stuck and frozen and unable to really find their joy, and then bringing them into a place of freedom and loving themselves and connecting with their own power. And the magic part is really, well, things are not always obvious in this life. When it comes to magic, it's not obvious to everybody. You know, you can see the magic of life if you raise your spirit to a certain level where you can see that things happen in a certain synchronicity. So it's tuning people in to the synchronicity in their lives and the trust in their lives that they're going to get what they want if they're willing to actually step out of their comfort zones and move towards their heart's desires, almost like the universe will respond in kind in presenting them with opportunities.
Well, that's really interesting. So you've just spoken a bit about what magic means to you. How about alchemy?
Well, alchemy, as I said, Amber, it's really alchemy. Well, the old alchemists used to change base metals into gold. Okay, when you look at things like the old philosophers and you saw them putting stuff in a crucible and like stirring it up and everything else, and they had the philosopher's stone and they had this and that and the other, all their magical stuff there. But I think that was just if you like, an analogy, because what the alchemists did was actually turn the shadows into light in people. They supported people in letting go of the negative stuff, maybe when they were under the influence of mushrooms or other plant medicines, and supported them in finding the light. Because I remember from my own experience of taking LSD years ago, when I was inexperienced, it was like I would get caught up in these vortexes that were like going down and down and down. And I had a friend who, now looking upon it, was an alchemist, because he would actually direct me towards the light, and then the energy will go up into beauty, love, harmony, oneness, and magic.
You spoke a bit about the plant medicine and your experience with that, but is this something that you can like harness and really bring out without that? And I'm assuming the workshop is, without those aspects in terms of plant medicine.
Well, yeah, we don't use plant medicine in the workshop, just so you know. We are completely legal. And however, in the actual workshop itself, because of the energy we create amongst the people, the meditation that we do, the intensity we do, it almost like squeezes the magic out in a certain sense. And I found that when I'm working with people and there's trust there, and the people start to relax and they start to find their voice and they start to express what they truly need to, often for the first time, when they are in front of a group of people who are actually present and intent on listening to them, something seems to happen. It's almost like an alchemy seems to happen that's invisible. You can't put your hands on it. When you try to find it, it disappears, but you can see it out the corner of your eye. And so that's the magic. You know it's there, but if you try to grab it, it goes away. It's like a petulant child in a certain sense.
And why is it important to run a workshop like this?
Important? Well, I don't think it's important in terms of being important, but what I think or what I feel is, like, for me, after working with empowerment techniques and bringing people into opening their voice, bringing people into finding their authentic selves and seeing the beauty and the fulfillment that it gives to me, and also the potential that they can also find in themselves moving forward in their spiritual life, it was almost a natural thing that I will bring all of the pieces together that I've learned in my life and bring them into one workshop, which is magic, alchemy, and empowerment. So now my focus is on teaching people that are already resolved in certain aspects of themselves, but need to have the impetus and the affirmation that they are actually okay to now bring out their own magic, meaning if they are up and coming wizards and witches and people that have got something spiritual to share, people that have got a gift that they've been afraid to put out, because often this stuff is very ancestral and the fear is very old to put this stuff out, especially with women, because of all the history of witches being burned and witches being persecuted. And these days still it's not okay to do that because people think it's woo-woo, you know, but it goes deep in the system. So now my work is more with working with people that want to really spread their magical and spiritual word.
And how does the workshop support people in alchemizing their fear of being seen?
Well, I work with them individually in front of a group, supporting them to open their throat, open their heart in front of the public, and to have clarity with what it is they need to bring out, an affirmation that they have the right to do it. And I will do whatever it takes to support people bringing those gifts out.
And if someone might be a bit nervous about attending, what would you say to them? If they're not sure if it's for them, or they're just feeling a little bit anxious or not sure.
Well, when it comes to workshops, you can choose different workshops in life. You can choose to do a yoga workshop. You can choose to do a Vipassana workshop. You can choose to do a Tai Chi course, you know, and these are not so confronting. But when you're there in front of a group of people and you have all the eyes intently on you, very often judgments come up. Judgments about your voice, how you look, am I okay? We have these things inside of us because of history, because of our childhood and past lives. And also, as I said, ancestral stuff that's really there. So a lot of people are stuck in that ancestral wound, if you like, and it goes generation to generation to generation. And then they come to me and I offer this work to really take them off that karmic wheel, really break them out of that karmic pattern so that they can free themselves up and feel this is my destiny, this is my path, this is where I need to go.
I was going to ask you what people can come away, what they can expect to come away with, but I think you've pretty much answered that.
Well, just to add on to that, Amber, they will come away with feeling good about their voice, feeling good about what they're doing, feeling affirmed in their beauty, in their good feelings about the work that they want to present. It's holistic, so it hits them in every chakra that they need to be hitting, that they are affirmed and have the right to move forward.
Oh, thank you so much. Is there anything else that you wanted to add about the workshop?
Well, what I can say is, with a workshop like this, it's the type of work which is very specialized, but that doesn't mean to say that people who want to feel good about what they're presenting have to be budding witches and wizards and esoterics, if you like. If you are someone that really wants to bring your magic, and your magic in your life is, let's say, it could be yoga. You could be a yoga teacher. You could be as I said before, a Tai Chi teacher, or someone that just wants to bring yourself into the public eye and feel good and affirmed with who you are, what your big love is in your career life is, and it's really there in your heart to do it, then I would say go for it, because we will support you in bringing whatever magic you have in your heart out to bring you joy in your life.
Oh, thank you so much, Bhavo. Sounds like an amazing workshop, and I hope you all come along in January.
Yes, January the 18th, starting on a Thursday evening, we are going to go deep and going deep into joy, celebration, expression, and affirmation. And at the end of it, having a yes to yourself and what you're doing in your life is what we're all about.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. And nice to hang out and talk with you.
Thank you, likewise. So thank you so much for joining us today, and if you want to find out more, all the information is on our website www.oshaleela.uk. So we really hope to see you in January.
Yeah, thank you, Amber.
Thank you so much.
Thank you all.